10:18 a.m. markets have been open for about 45 minutes. We're looking at the SPY, which is the S&P 500. It's an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. But we're looking for the SPY here. It's got a setup. We broke it all down on the 10-minute. It's in a confirmed downtrend. We're at the top of that trend line here. 10-minute, even on the 3-minute. We're at the top of that trend line, narrowing it all the way down here to the 1-minute to see if we get a break in momentum. And we have a handful of stocks that are correlated with the market we're also watching. With this setup right here, we're also looking at AFRM, looks very, very similar. VERU looks very, very similar. DraftKings looks very similar. Snapchat. And I can go on and on and on, but there's a lot of these stocks that are correlated with this ETF in the S&P 500. You guys have heard me in the past refer to the SPY, the S&P 500, as mother. You want to listen to mother does as she says. Right now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for her to prove to me that momentum is going to come in, and then we'll get follow through with a lot of these names. So I thought I'd hit record here and see how this plays out. If we start to fail and we break down even lower, all of the setups I just mentioned are most likely to follow with the SPY here and go down even lower. If we break up, watch for all those setups to break out. And what you'd be doing also is looking for stocks that are not correlated with the market here. So we got, let's see if I can find anything. This morning, NURO was on the gap scanners. This is not correlated with the market. It's not going to move with the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq. So we're starting to get a little push here with the SPY. I want to see it break up over this previous day's close line and start ripping back up to this 400 level here. You could see I plotted out a green line here on the 3-minute. That's the area I think we could push up to in the SPY if we get that momentum in. Notice the abnormal in volume here too. Focusing in on these indexes though, it can be a bit tricky. It can be, because it can look good 1 second and then it can turn the next. So do not get comfortable with these indexes. Trading these indexes as well, it's a bit harder to. You have the whole world focused on these indexes and ETFs. It's like the saying, when you have more people or more heads, it only creates more problems. That's why I just use the indexes as a guide. And a lot of times in small cap land, we call it the Wild West. They're not correlated with the indexes. Like, look at the SPY yesterday right here. It trended down all day. No positive momentum whatsoever. But in small cap land, we had a new IPO, BGXX. This thing popped and ran all day yesterday, running from $18. At the end of the day, it was hitting a high up here at $60 a share just about. Not correlated with the market at all. So you see here, SPY is moving right back up to its high of day, and that blue dotted line, which is the previous day's close. We got good positive momentum, but we'll probably flush back out, back down to the VWAP here. Take a look at our other stocks. DraftKings right up to its high of day. AFRM up to its high of day. Snapchat right up to its high of day. They're all correlated with the market. And as a little extra bonus, since we're already on the topic, what you're going to want to look at too with these stocks, and I'll write it out here, is the beta. The higher that beta is over 1, that's how much more volatile it is than the S&P 500. If it's below 1 and 0 and in the negative, it's not correlated with the markets. Look it up on Investopedia and learn all about the beta. It's a pretty important tool or indicator to know about. See on the 10-minute here with the SPY, and it's good to look at these bigger time frames, because you could tell yourself now, the last 10 minutes straight here, we've been green. So it's a bit overextended on that 10-minute, running up 40 minutes straight like that. So some type of pullback down we need to gear up and break up over this trend line. And then once we break up over this trend line, we're going to want to see it pull back, hold that trend line, and start to establish some type of like higher lows and higher highs to reverse up out of this trend that it's been in. We also got VERU here. This stock was recently in play. Scroll out on this epic run up here on VERU the last, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is why I like stocks at around $5 upwards to $100. There's always something going on, even when the markets are in the toilet. VERU running up from $6 all the way up to a high of 17 in a few days. And then even days after it made its high, there's still potential in it. Look at here on the 3-minute. So if we start to break up here, we'll run up to 15 and then 1550 and we'll be at the trend line. And if we break up over that, we could squeeze up higher. That's a potential forecast. My job is to sit here and just patiently wait. See, the SPY is starting to pull back now. So now we'd be seeing when this pulls back, can it hold and build up? We're still in waiting mode. We're putting together ideas and plans, and we're patiently waiting it out. When you're putting together these plans and ideas as well, and if you're seeing most of your ideas play out, I like to call it you're aligned with the market. So if I'm pulling up all kinds of charts and I'm putting together ideas and plans and I'm seeing it play out and unfold to how I thought, I'm aligned with the market, I'll say. But if I'm putting together plans and ideas and I'm not seeing them play out to as I planned, I'm not aligned with the market, I would say. And I have to take note of that and listen to myself. If I'm not seeing the market, I shouldn't be trading. Listen to yourself. Trust in yourself. All right, so now even if we measure this move here from the low up to the high it just made there, it's pulled back 50% from that measured move. So you could draw a support line right there from this measured move here, from the low there up to the high. All I did was measure this. We've pulled back 50%. See how it's trying to bounce up off of that? 50%. That's a big ratio for investors to look out for. Also correlating here with the 10-minute, we're getting a little micro pullback, gearing up to try and bust up over that trend line. But this could easily fail and fall off as well. NURO, it's at our make it or break it line. This one's looking like it's falling off. This was the #1 stock gapping up pre-market. And look at right when the market opened. This is why you shouldn't really be trading the first 15 to 30 minutes that market opens. Look at all that volume flow into it. Every 1 minute on average, there's 500,000 or a little bit more. Every 1 minute flowing into this stock here. From 460, trends down here to 430. That long wick here. A lot of indecision. Then it grinds up. Then it pulls down here all the way to $4. And see how volume just dries up on it? You could draw a straight line on that. Volume starts to give up on it because it's not performing. It's not running up to new highs. Remember, people like stocks that are running up to new highs. It's how they've been taught to buy stock. So as traders, we study this stuff. We study human nature. See the SPY, it's still trying. So far, so good still. Real quickly, let's go back to that NURO real quick. They did it once again. They rip it up to 450 here, making it look like it's going to go. And then yank it right back down. But you know what this could create? This could be still a short squeeze in the making here. Because you got to think what short sellers are thinking as well. With all these long upper wicks right here, short sellers are getting comfortable and it's only confirming to them like, yeah, this stock is weak. They're not even letting it rip. Every single pop, it gets denied. So short sellers start piling in on this. And this is why I put out a make it or break it line. This green line here at $4. As long as this stock holds over this make it or break it line here, it's in territory for a short squeeze. If we fall below this line, shorts are in control, bears are in control, and this stock's done for pretty much. Still looking good with the SPY. I also put a video out recently teaching you guys a trading strategy to look out for, the stab or V shape. Today, AFRM, you could see right here, you get a real quick dip right here and a stab in the chart. And from that, see the stock pulls back here, back to 24.25. And from that, nice rip up to 25.50. So a nice $1.25 run up here. And it's still holding up. Plenty of opportunity. Nice $1 range on it, back and forth as well. So there was multiple opportunities on this one stock. It's just all about training yourself to look out for these strategies and go after what you want. Remember, there's opportunity everywhere out here in the stock market. That's why you should be breaking down charts, studying charts, and going after patterns that you yourself and your eyes pick up on. Remember, we're all different. We're all in different situations in life. We all have different beliefs. You're all going to have your own opinions too. I'll go ahead as of right now. I'll end part 1 of this recording and I'm going to come back probably after lunch and record part 2 to show you guys how all of this played out, because this part 1 is already over. It's approaching 20 minutes. So I'll see you guys part 2. All right, now we're going to jump into part 2 here of this lesson. And as you can see here with the SPY, we held up. We held. This morning we were looking at it. It was in this confirmed downtrend here. And it was pulling back like it was gearing up to try and break up out of that trend line. Zooming in a little bit on the SPY here on the 3-minute, we pulled back tightly to that trend line. Gradually got over that trend line and we just kept building and building and building. And then we get this run up, so far hitting a high here at 393. And this move didn't take off till 11:30. So 2 hours after the market opened is when the indexes and the SPY finally chose its direction for the day. Now let's take a look at the other stocks that were coordinated with the SPY. We had AFRM was one of them. Now AFRM, as you see, it's currently hitting high of day. We were looking at it when it was over here at 24.50s. This is running up now and running up to 27. Another stock we were looking at, VERU. VERU, when we were looking at it, it was down just below VWAP here in this area. Now it's running up, retesting its high of day back up here at 15. And this is still potentially setting up for a potential squeeze back on up, because this stock was in play recently, running all the way up to a high here of 17. The last couple days here, it's been pulling back. And you have to think again, when short sellers start entering in on this, they anticipate for when stocks top out and when it starts to break down, they get in on it, riding it for profit to the downside. Now, if you have short sellers overwhelm a stock like this and they all jump in and the stock holds most of its gains and comes back, short sellers have to cover. And then you have long retail investors entering in as well. It's that double whammy I love to talk about all the time with you guys. Good move on VERU. Snapchat was another name. Snapchat's been gradually moving up, now hitting a high up there at 23.75. We were also looking at DraftKings, DKNG. DraftKings just hit a high of day up here at 1460s. Let's check back in on the number one gapper this morning, NURO. As you see, it held that make it or break it line at $4 that I drew out this morning. And from 4, it bounces right up to the VWAP there at 440s. And it's right back down to $4. It's not correlated with the market at all, as you can see. Look at this chart and compare it to the SPY. They're not correlated at all. So identifying if your stock is correlated with the indexes, the SPY, it doesn't matter really what ETF that you track that tracks the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, Dow Jones. For me, I like the SPY. You also have VOO. That's a Vanguard ETF. They're all the same. They're all tracking the underlying S&P 500. You have people that like to track the Qs, QQQ, that tracks the Nasdaq. The Dow Jones, I have to look up. I don't really track the Dow Jones that much. DIA, that's the Spider Dow Jones. I also have a playlist on my channel dedicated to indexes and ETFs. All you got to do, head over to my channel. You got this search bar right here. You could click on this search bar, type in ETFs, and it's going to pull up all the videos I've ever done related to ETFs. There's a playlist right there. ETFs, exchange traded funds. I have 9 videos in there for you guys. We were also looking at BGXX. This was a stock that squeezed recently, running up yesterday from $18 all the way up to a high of $58 a share. This morning, it was selling off pretty hard, and it was trending down really hard here, falling from $30 all the way down here to a low of $12. It recently just got a good bounce on it from $12 up here to $18. So a $6 bounce on BGXX. GLBE, another name that's been trending up nicely today, from 1875 up to a high here of 2125. Scroll out, this one recently had an epic comeback right here on this day. They put earnings out just before the market opened, and it didn't do nothing the whole day. It just consolidated. Then market closed and it had this huge gap down, and you could see it formed a wedge here. And you best believe anytime you have sharp down movement in something or a drop off, people love to look out for them for bounce opportunities. Next day here, look at all that volume show up, ready to party. $14, everybody jumps in, joins the party, runs all the way up to $23.50 and surpassing where it dropped off from the previous day, $19.50, and running up another $4. That's amazing. This video lesson's already going to be long enough. I think it's probably going to be close to half an hour long. Not many people are probably going to watch it, but this was a really good example and lesson to show you guys that you want to really be paying close attention to these indexes. They dictate pretty much everything that happens in the market. It's that saying, 3 out of 4 stocks are going to follow the overall market. But then you always have that black sheep stepbrother or sister that is not correlated with the market. Today's example, NURO. This was the Wild West. NURO, not correlated with the market at all. So if the indexes are all in the toilet and they're trending down like the SPY was yesterday, be on the lookout for stocks that are not correlated with the market, because you'll notice that traders love to gravitate to stocks that are moving up. And when markets are trending down, you'll notice traders will return to stocks over and over and over again the longer these indexes trend down. Perfect example with the SPY yesterday, May 18th, 2022, just selling off and trending down the whole entire day there. We had BGXX yesterday, right here, May 18th, 2022, running up all day. There's always something running up in the market. Always something. Remember, the stock market is very trendy. There's always going to be something trending. If you enjoyed this lesson and you made it through this entire lesson, comment down below. I watched it. I'll know the dedicated subscribers out there, the true students of the market. Educate yourself, study, be on that grind. Remember, the more you educate yourself, waking up every day, putting in that screen time, you're doing the work. That is where you get your edge over everybody else. Remember, a lot of people are lazy. They're complacent. There's also a lot of wannabes out there. Not everybody is gonna make it in this game. You really have to put in a lot of hard work and dedication to at least have a chance to be successful at this. You can do it. I'm Mr. Wolf. I'm signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. As I always say to you guys, have that patience, have that discipline, study, study, study. Later, guys.